Yes, yes. This is the Lisa Baxter Show, giving you the 411 and the kidney one. My girl, and say, this is here. I keep ordering food. I mean, where's my collard greens? Where's my, my potatoes? Where's my food? I'm hungry. No, I don't want to hear nothing about dialysis. I'm out here to get something to eat. Waiter, somebody come on over here. Waitress, somebody, anybody come. Come on over here and feed me. I'm hungry. I don't want to hear about sugar. I know it was high the other day. No, I don't want to hear about that either. I don't hear about pressure. I took it. Yeah, I took it. I took it. I took it. I took it. And that was high the other day. But what I do know and what I got to know, and I should know that this is the Lisa Baxter Show, giving you the 411 in the kidney world. Hi, guys. I'm saying hello to you from Pennsylvania, Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. That's right. Visiting families, my family. And I am so glad to see you. So glad you tuned in. So glad you waited. Something wonderful and deep always happens when it's time for the show. That's when I know it's a blessing. How about that? That's when I know it's a blessing because we showed up together. How about that? Well, I want to tell you guys about my wonderful, wonderful, fantabulous guest. Let's see how we do it. My wonderful, fantabulous guest. She's excellent. She's fabulous. She's fantabulous. That's right. She's a mother, right? She's an advocate. She's a warrior. She's a two-time general on the dialysis machine, the two types of dialysis machine. That's right. She was on the Urban Health Outreach Media Facebook page doing her own show. That's right. I got side girls and boys. I got size men and women. Size speaks, okay? All right, women against kidney disease. Come on, girl. How you doing? Welcome to the show, Miss Cyrelle George, a beautiful woman. Hello, girl.
Hi, Lisa. You have me looking around like she sounds amazing. Who is that? I want to meet her. What?
Don't you make me sweat with my hot flashes. Don't you dare.
I like her. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, sweetheart. That is you. That is you. That's 100% you.
Oh.
I ain't lying.
No, but usually, I'm the one doing what you're doing. So it's such an honor and a privilege to be on your show. So thank you for having me.
I'm so glad you're such a busy woman. You was hard to get. You was hard to get. So it's a privilege over here on this end. A privilege on this end. And I really thank Jared, which I call Jay, for helping us out tonight. We was having a little technical, but this is a live show and things happen. But we on board right now. How about that?
Right, and he was wonderful with everything. So thanks, Jared.
That's right. A shout out. All right now, happy Valentine's Day to all the lovers in the house. And whoever you love, whether it's your loved one, your significant other, or your family member, we just wanted to say happy Valentine's Day to you.
Yes.
Now, driving and moving forward, my girl, let me tell you something. Where are we going to start? Now, before we get into our sweet kidney stuff, let me ask you about what type of work or job you did before everything started happening.
Absolutely. My background, it's, I guess, twofold. I started in legal records management. I love order and organization, and I did that for quite a number of years. And then I transitioned into human resources. So I was either loved greatly or feared. But yeah, so my background is records management and HR.
Wow. Well, how many years did you do that?
Okay. So legal records management, I did that for 7 years at some really wonderful law firms here in Atlanta. And then I switched over to, I think, probably my most exciting position. I don't know if I could say the name of the company, but
Okay, I respect that.
no, I mean, if it's okay, I worked for CNN and Turner Broadcasting as an HR rep. So
Wow.
it was good, you know. So got to see it from HR general and then HR for sports. That was the last part of my
Mm.
time at. So yeah, so it was great.
Wow. Well, how many years were you there?
2.5.
Okay, some experience, huh?
Yes, ma'am. Some
Mm.
experience. I think my son enjoyed it the most because it came with some perks. So
Oh, wow. That's all right. That's all right. It's always good to have a job. Some people not employed, and you talked about two jobs, and I really
amen.
feel that. I really feel that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So okay, let me see, where should I go first? We talked about job and employment. Now, one thing I know about you, you're an advocate. Now, what made you become an advocate, if you don't mind me asking?
No, not at all. I think anybody who's ever spent any time with me, I just love championing for the underdog, right? If people say you can't do something, I'm the first person to like, I bet you we can do it. And if not, I'm going to help you do it. And when I was diagnosed, the doctor, when he gave me my news, he didn't wait for my family, and his bedside manner was just horrible. And from that moment, I said, you will never talk to another kidney patient like that. Remember that we are people, not a statistic and not a file that you're walking around. Treat us with human kindness and courtesy. And from that moment, I was like, you know what? If
Mm.
he did it to me, I know this is what they do to most of us. So we're going to change the narrative for us.
What?
Yeah.
I'm not mad at you. I know that's right. I can't stand anybody to treat people funny.
Yeah.
Even on my way here to Pennsylvania, the man told me, rushing me with the ticket. Oh, you got the ticket. You don't got the ticket, then you're gonna have to wait for the next bus. And I said, man, have a little courtesy or a little mercy. He was acting up. I took his information down.
Yes,
You
ma'am.
know what I mean? Then he wrote me to the wrong stop, or said that stop wasn't there when he told me it was when I got on, knowing I had a disability. Saw me with my walker. But I've been seeing a lot of that. So maybe God needed me to see that, because I'm a fighter too. A 1-2
That's
punch.
right.
That's right. Knock
I
him
love
down.
it.
Slay him. All right. So I ain't mad at you being an advocate. Now I know I rushed you in being an advocate. So I'm gonna back up for a minute so to
Okay.
see why you that type of advocate that you are. Let's go into your kidney story. What tell me about your kidney journey.
Okay. I like to think that kidney journey just jumped on me. I didn't see it coming. I had no indications whatsoever that this
Mm.
was going to be my lot or my cross to bear. I went for a standard physical, and it sounds so funny because the anniversary is coming up shortly. I was out celebrating my cousin's birthday when the doctor called me and was like, "You need to go to the emergency room right now."
Mm.
I'm like, "I'm sorry, why?" He was like, "Your kidneys are failing."
Whoa.
And it took a minute. I'm like, "I'm sorry. Like, clearly, did you call Cyrelle? Like, wrong number."
Tell me about it.
And yeah, so I went thinking just standard physical, make sure my health was in order, in line. And Lisa, it was not. My kidney function was already down to 6% when I got to the emergency room.
My God. Mm.
But can I
No,
just say how awesome God is? Because it
he's
was
off.
at 6% and I was still living, thriving. And even though the little slowness and hiccups, it wasn't enough to take me out. So I'm like, God,
Mm.
only you could do that.
You ain't never lied. Come on now. Come on. Ah, goodness and mercy. I know that's right.
They follow me. Sometimes they
Mhm.
overtake me, but yes, ma'am.
Come on now. Jump on me, Lord. I ain't mad at you. Listen. Okay, so when they told you that and you went in, how did you feel about the news, and how did you feel when you actually got to the emergency room?
you know, Everything seemed so unreal. Like it was surreal. Like I'm like, clearly, I
Mm.
know that I am the person that's on this wristband that says that needs to be here. It
Yes.
just seemed like I was having an out of body experience. Everything was happening to me. Like I
Yes.
felt like I had no control. And when I got there, I had to have 2 emergency blood transfusions, and it was just so
Ooh.
much coming at me. And I'm like, oh wait, I just got this diagnosis. Wait, and it was so much that I didn't really. I felt like I couldn't catch my breath, and I was in a
Mm.
hospital for 5 days. And most people who's not on this journey, once you get that initial diagnosis, and if you do have to be in the hospital, it's not just your kidneys. They check your heart. They check, so
Oh,
you're
come on,
hooked
a
up,
gamut.
right? You're hooked up to so many machines, and you're like, wait a minute, I was just 5 minutes ago, I felt great, I was wonderful, and now here I'm in this hospital bed, and I'm hooked up to all these machines. So it was a lot to process. But I will say, I was never angry, but I was like in disbelief, like this is not happening to me. Like I am not that sick, right? And I hate using that word, but I'm
Yes.
like, I'm so not effervescent that I'm in the hospital. They're keeping me in this hospital, and I'm beeping. I'm the machine. Like, wait a minute. So
Tell me about it. Yes.
yeah, I was a little overwhelmed. And as grown as I am, I was like, I need my mommy. So
I wish I could have
yeah,
had mine. I know
yeah,
that's right.
yeah. I'm thankful for everybody that was present, but I was
Me
like, I
too.
need you to call my mother. So
Wow.
yeah,
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. That's a mind blowing thing. When they first
yes,
tell you, give you the news, you don't feel like they're talking to you. You like looking around. Oh, what? You know, like you, I wasn't. I can't say I wasn't angry because I didn't have children yet, and my siblings that were on, they had kids and stuff, and I didn't have
right,
any, and that bothered me. I could have maybe took it a little bit better if I had children. All I kept saying is I didn't have children. I don't have children yet. Yeah, you know, but I feel you. So you got the news, you're in there, the machines and everything is on. You got your
yes,
support coming up and around you. Now,
yes.
now even after you get out of the hospital, you got to still deal with the journey once you get out. And
That's for the
the
hard work.
dialysis center is a whole another journey. So ride me through this ride.
Okay, so I was diagnosed um beginning of April. I didn't start dialysis until January, so I had a couple of months, but I seemed like I
Wow.
was at the doctor's office every week. So the journey was so it was so much, like I didn't know what vein mapping was. Everything sounds so horrible. So I
Mm,
just felt like, okay, my whole life just flipped upside down. Like, okay, so I need a kidney. Like it he was like, your kidney's a shot, you just need a transplant, and you got to start dialysis. So I was like, and my grandfather was on dialysis for 25 years. So I was like, absolutely not.
nuts.
So, so,
No. Right. No.
right. So I was going through all those emotions, but it's like they don't give you a chance to process it. It's just like they take you full speed ahead. And if you don't say,
Mm-hmm.
wait a minute, I hear what you're saying. And I'm
Yes.
going to do what I need to do to be here. But you got to give me a minute to process this because you see me as a chart, but I'm a person. So I need
Yes.
time to process this because one thing I realized in the beginning, I made a lot of decisions out of ignorance and their sense of urgency. And I wasn't well equipped. So I'm like, as an advocate now, I'd be like, hey, you have options. Yes, your kidney
Yes.
function is this low, but you still got options. And I
Yes.
think sometimes they get us with the fear, and they got
Mm-hmm.
me because I didn't know. And I'm like, wait a minute, I have too many people in my tribe that I can reach and be like, hey, what is this?
Yes.
So ignorance isn't bliss. It's dangerous if you're not careful. So yes, ma'am.
Wow, wow. You ain't never lied. It's a lot to keep to slow down, and they do not let you chew on it a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Let me digest this thing. This is happening to me. You on the other side, you're not living it. You throwing it at me, boom, bang, pow, but you're not giving me a chance. So I'm
Right.
definitely not mad at you with that. What was the reason your kidneys failed?
You know what, Lisa? 3 years later, they still don't know. They have
Mm,
guessed or
mystery.
hypothetically incurred that I was born prematurely. So they're thinking my kidneys were too small and it never
Oh,
fully developed. So I'm like, okay, but that was 40 plus years ago. So,
mhm. I ain't mad at you. Come on.
yeah, but so they're not 100% certain what the cause was. So they're saying small kidneys, and then it was made worse by high blood pressure.
Oh, okay. All right. So you got a it wasn't exactly a clear answer, but you had something.
Right.
All right. All
Yeah.
right. Okay.
But does
So
it really give you peace, even if like, okay, yeah, that's the exact cause, but I'm still dealing with it, at least for me.
well they said polycystic kidney disease, and even though I seen my siblings deal with it, it does it your journey is different. Even though you had to be with them and help them and be a backbone
Right.
to them, yours, when it came to you, it just was something different about it. But what I did like about it is that you had stuff in common. And even with patients, other patients, or I would say other people on dialysis, instead of just saying patients,
Right.
you have stuff in common. You might not have the same illness all the time, but being on the machine, you have in common the feelings of it, certain things that happen to you. You have those in common, and some of those are the things that we discuss while we on the machine. Oh, girl, my pressure was low. Oh, I fell out, or whatever it was. Or I ate the wrong thing, or I ate the right thing. Too much fluid. Oh, girl, I couldn't breathe. Woo,
Right.
But we talk about it and we share that, and that's so helpful.
Yeah.
That's so helpful. Even that little or longer the time that you're there, or those 3 times a week, you have something to say to somebody, and sometimes that thing encourage you or make you help you go
Right.
through a little better, a little better.
A little bit. I mean, I'm thankful for the connections. I know this probably, well, not to you, but for those who are not warriors or caregivers, like we've become a family, and it is this journey that has bonded us together. And I'm thankful because I would have never met you and Jared and Steve and so many other wonderful people on this journey, even
Yeah.
though the diagnosis is a beast. The love and the family that comes with it, I'm
Ah,
like, I'll take it. I'll
I
take
know
it.
that's right.
Yeah.
I love it too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I smiled. I almost cried when I had met Steve and them too.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was on it, and they asked me to bring the Lisa Baxter show to Urban Health
Mm-hmm.
when, it was all over the place. But I was so on it because I'm like, what? Somebody want me and want this. And then to know there were other shows out there. Sometimes you don't know there's other shows and books and,
Right.
you know, but you learn if there's other stories out there, there's other stuff out there. We just need to get more connected. But okay, okay. So you got your diagnosis. So
Mm-hmm.
we're gonna move to the dialysis center. You're
Yeah.
in there.
I'm in
What
there.
happened once you got there? You're in there. What happened?
Whew. You know what? I think every warrior can identify. You get in there and you get the great nurse, the great tech, then you get the ones that remind you of somebody that should not be allowed to touch you ever.
Oh God,
Uh,
please.
mm, my very first, I mean,
Uh-huh. Okay, your sound went down when you touched something. What did you touch? I need you back. I think they might hear you, and maybe it's just me. I hope that's not the case. Cause we on fire now. We going good. Touch that button you touched before, honey. Cause you went down. And I know I'm using somebody else's phone, but all right, come on in and come on back. But while we waiting for her and everything, I hope you're learning something from her journey. As always, my journey, but sometimes you don't know who's the first time out here. Oh, is that her? I see her. Speak. Oh no, come on, the devil's a liar. Come on, I don't hear you. Maybe you gotta take your earplugs out. You wanna try that? Pull it out the plug, something. Cause this is getting good. We gonna do this. Whatever mountain it is. Well, what went wrong? What was touched? I know I didn't touch nothing on this girl's phone, so I don't feel calling her back. The dogs will start running in, the baby might start crying. Oh, I don't know if they can hear you or Jay, any instructions? Gosh, her letters is even smaller than mine ever been. At least I could always see what Steve was saying. I don't know what that say. Jesus of Nazareth. Well, if he told me they can still hear you, then I would still ask the questions and pause and let you do it. Since we moving along in the show, I'm not used to this type of thing happening, so I'm not sure. Do I cut it off or come out? I don't want to lose the broadcast or the link. And that's what my concern is. I need something. Is he sending you any text? Sometimes I can't see it. He's not sending you nothing. The blood. Oh, okay, okay. Mm-mm-mm. All right. Well, just in case they can hear you, I'm just going to try to move on. Oh, Lord. All right, look. No sense panicking. It is what it is. Talk about your journey in the dialysis center, and I'm hoping that they can hear you. All right. Oh, he said Steve texted me to my phone. He said they can't hear you either. All right, Jared, what do you want to do here? You want us both to come out? Um, maybe you come out and come back. All right. So we praying that this works out. I'm sure it will. This is what happened with live TV. But this young lady, she has been on hemodialysis, and she's been on peritoneal dialysis. She has such a great story. You just got to see it. You just got to hear her say it. It ain't enough for me just to tell you, but this woman is a mother, like I said, and a good mother. And I wanted her to talk a little bit about that, because there may be a single mother out there, or a child that have a mother that have a kidney disease or any other illness, and maybe they can learn from this experience. Maybe it can encourage them in some form of fashion, in some great way. So I want you to definitely hear her story. I mean, because when she did do peritoneal, she she was doing her show the same day she had the surgery for it. We couldn't believe that, she was still doing her show. So that was beautiful. Oh, hallelujah. I
Can
almost
you hear
started
me? Can
shouting.
you hear me?
Woo, I can hear you, beautiful. You better go on and tell your story. But all right, now you get in the center. Bam, what happened?
As soon as the tech sits me in the chair and gets me set up, he says, "Oh, you have such little veins."
Uh-oh.
I have this fistula in my arm to make sure there's not little. So I knew automatically it was going to be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
He stuck me 4 times, and then I'm like, "Stop!" My arm bubbled up. My arm immediately went hard, and it was bruised. And they
Oh.
was like, "We can't do anything with your arm today." My
Mm.
first time at dialysis. And i'm
Wow.
and I'm not one who will just cry in public. I mean, I cry at weddings, commercials, but just Cyrelle to cry, that's not me. i
No
broke
boo-hoo.
down I broke down crying because I felt so defeated. I was embarrassed and I was angry. I'm like, I don't want to do this, and then for you to mess up, you can keep it. And then
Wow.
I didn't know that even though my arm was all bruised and just, it looked like somebody just did something terrible to me, they was like, "We'll see you on Wednesday
That was it. No treatment. Go home.
and
Wow.
come back on Wednesday. Oh, put some ice on your arm." So,
Well, the first experience you never forget.
no.
You
So
don't never forget that.
I had a fear. So I would go scared, just expecting them to make a mistake or to hurt me. And it was very traumatic. I did
I believe you.
hemodialysis or in clinic dialysis for a year and a half. And I had a couple of times where it was my arm would hurt. They would have to stop treatment. They would have to try to ice me down.
Mm.
I had another nurse. She infiltrated my arm, but she also caused nerve damage, and my fistula, only half of it now works. So
Wow.
it's
That's
been
too
a
much.
journey. Yeah,
That
it's been a
I'm sure it
journey.
was. I'm sure it was. My first experience, the nurse started talking on the phone, and while her back was turned to me, it was pulling too much. That was the first time I've ever had dialysis, and it started making me cramp up. So my legs and feet started bending, and I was like, "Lord, if it's time for me to go, let me know right now." Kind of thing. That was ugly and scary, and I
Right,
don't wish that on my worst enemy or anybody.
right.
But so you did the hemodialysis for a minute.
Yes.
And so, because of these things, is that what made you turn to peritoneal, or you had another reason?
I had another reason. As much as we as warriors don't look forward to going to dialysis, we recognize the importance of it on this journey. So I'm
Oh,
like,
yes.
whatever these little hurts, hiccups, whatever, I'm gonna have to suck it up, buttercup, and do it. But I am blessed to be a mom to this amazing little boy, and he
Bless
has
him.
so many things going on in his life that I was missing. My son had an important award ceremony coming up, and he was going to be honored, and it was during my chair time. And as a mom,
My chair top, yeah.
I was like, yeah, he understands that mommy has to do treatment. But I thought back to all the things I've done as a child, and my parents may have not been present, and how it made me
Say it.
feel.
Yes.
So And because I had enough time in advance, I spoke it over with the team. Was like, I think I need to switch to PD because I tell people all the time, I am a kidney patient, warrior, advocate, but I'm my son's mom first.
Come
And
on. That's what I
what
wrote first for you.
I love it. I said, so even though I'm living this journey, I still have to find a way to be his mom in the most normal and non-invasive way for him. And we as warriors, we live this journey, but we still have to find a way to maintain that life we had before this diagnosis.
Come
So I
on.
had to juggle some things. So I had the procedure done May 7th. My
Yes.
son's program was 2 days later, but he didn't know. And he just assumed I was going to be at my regular treatment. And when I walked through the door and they called his name, I got there right when they was calling him. And to see my son's face light up, to see me in there, I was like, I made the right decision.
Yes.
And my son is not overly emotional. To know him is like, oh, you so nonchalant. My son cried and ran and hugged me. And I was like, okay.
He needed that.
I was like, okay. That's all the confirmation I needed.
I know that's right.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, your son is beautiful because he's a support for you, and I know
Thanks,
he's by your
Lisa.
side, and everything. He's in there with you. He's in the trenches. So I love that about him because he's a baby. He's a child, but he still, love you and help out and be there and try to be understanding, even if he didn't or don't.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that
Yes,
look
ma'am.
on his face told you he must have wanted you there from the giddy up, but you got that and it connected.
Yeah.
So you
Yeah.
go ahead. You just go ahead.
Oh, thanks, Lisa.
Wow.
Thanks,
Wow.
Lisa.
Wow. My hat off to him too. We got to give him the love too.
Yes, ma'am.
He's a caregiver, even though he's a baby.
Yes. And
The
that's a lot
youngest
of
sport
weight
we
to
got.
carry at his age. That's
That's
a
right.
heavy burden.
Oh,
Yes.
yes. Oh, yes. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, let me see now. So you did peritoneal and you still doing it.
Yes, ma'am.
You had any problems or issues with that?
Can we talk about how PD whooped my behind the first 3 months? I mean, I don't want to scare anybody, right? But we like to be Lisa. We like to be honest, and it wasn't as.
Okay.
Are you back, Lisa?
Let me see here.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Jesus. This thing is, what am I doing? Hello?
Yes, ma'am.
Can you hear me? Oh, Jesus. Hello?
Yes,
Oh,
ma'am.
my God.
Okay. Well, PD was not as easy as I thought it was going to be. The first 3 months, I experienced some of the worst pain in my life, and I am a mom, so I've experienced childbirth. But the placement of my PD catheter, it was causing such discomfort. I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep, I could barely walk. My blood pressure was extremely low, to the point where I was passing out, and that's just not my norm. That's just not something that I do. So PD, I had to get the rhythm and the momentum to what this treatment was supposed to do as far as being a benefit for my life. Because even though I realized I did it for my son, at night when I connect, I was like, maybe I made a mistake. Maybe I prematurely jumped the gun. Maybe I should go back into the clinic. But it was, being my own healthcare advocate, because no matter how amazing our doctors and nurses and techs and team may be, if you're not living this journey, you can only empathize and even sympathize with the warrior. But we, the warriors, we have to find a solution, or at least find our voices enough to communicate what's happening in a manner where we're heard and we get the end result. So I had to stay on my team, like, no, this is not normal. They kept telling me, oh, it's gonna pass. It's just new. Your site is tender. I'm like, yeah,
I'm
I've
still
had
backstage? Okay.
experiences.
No, I'm in the page now.
You back, Lisa?
I'm back. Just keep telling it. As long as
Okay.
they can hear it. You know how me
Okay.
and you do.
I got you,
Thank you,
boo.
my love.
Um,
All right.
as
Keep
long
going.
as, yes, ma'am. The doctor kept saying, no, it's gonna pass. You just need time. And I knew my body was telling me, no, this is not my normal healing. Like something was wrong. And what was happening in my machine, they use hydraulic suction. I mean, all the machines. But
Mhm.
I'm a relatively small framed woman, so it was too strong. So my catheter my site was being sucked up against my stomach, so it was actually
Mm.
pulling muscle, and it
That-
wasn't pulling just fluid. So I had to fight, and when I say fight, I mean I had to keep pressing to say, hey, I need you to add tidal to my prescription to kind of slow down the
wow.
treatment. The force was too much, and they was like, no, we don't like to do that. My nurse at one time told me I wasn't eligible for it. The time has passed. I'm like, there's no expiration on tidal. Like, what are you doing? But
Tell
had I
me
not
about it.
known that, I'd have been like, oh my gosh, okay. And then what? I would have had to hurt during treatment. I'm like, no, we I'm gonna do my own research. So after 3 months of pain and torture and just all type of foolishness on peritoneal dialysis, I can say it has now been good.
I'm
In
glad to hear.
regards to a treatment, right? I don't ever think treatment itself is a good, good, but it's tolerable. It keeps me here, and we keep doing what we need to do. So yes,
So what
and
is that like when you
uh,
doing your treatment? What is that like? Give me a quick description. I don't know if they have anything at 9 o'clock. They didn't tell me if they're having a show after,
okay,
but I still would like to know. Tell them what peritoneal is, or how
okay,
it's done.
right. Well, hey Dawn. Yes, it is very difficult to adjust. At least it was for me and some of the other warriors that I have spoken with. um, when you are in the center, the care and the weight of your well-being is on the hands of someone else.
True.
But with peritoneal, it is you. You are your patient and the caregiver. You have to be clean. You have to be diligent. You have to be self-motivated to keep it going. And um, it's little things.
Show keep going.
Most people have to realize we need gloves, we need masks. You have to wash your hands with soap and water. Hand sanitizer is cute, but you need hot water and antibacterial soap. And Lisa, the biggest thing is being diligent, because now I don't have a chair time. So I
Wow.
have flexibility. So if I'm not diligent, I could slack off. So that's the danger. If you are not self-motivated and you're not diligent,
Talk
I would
about it.
say I would say peritoneal is not for you. If you need somebody to stay on your neck and call you your chair time, then stick with it. But if you're able to say, you know what, this is not my favorite thing, but I still
Mm.
got to do it. Because sometimes I could be out and about and I'm like, oh, got to cut this short because I need to make sure I get my hours in.
Wow,
So
you disciplined. My sister was disciplined. She loved it. She
yeah.
had caught a bad infection and had to go back to
Mm.
hemodialysis, but she did it in center, out of center, all over the center. So I love that you were disciplined and you knew that. You said, "Oh,
Yeah.
I gotta go back." Some people go, but you stuck to it. I'm very proud of you that you stuck to it.
Well,
Now,
thank you,
how
Lisa.
is having it inside of the house? I know you have to have like loads of boxes. Talk about the dwelling and things of that nature, please.
Okay, I tell people all the time, because people ask, I don't know why, but how is it having kidney disease? But
Like, like it's a kind thing, right?
right, mm, um, it has been mentally harder for me doing peritoneal dialysis than in center, because Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays when I was done, I left that behind and I just was Cyrelle,
Right.
whatever that is. But when you're on PD, there's always a constant reminder. My guest bedroom is no longer a guest bedroom. It is a storage room for all the boxes of medical
Boxes.
supplies and things like that. And I will say it has mentally weighed heavier on me, because it's a constant reminder, because I have a machine and a medical pole by my bed, and that's
Oh yeah, it's in the house.
yeah, and it's been harder on my son. Like, see, before I
Oh
would go to treatment and I come home and I'm mommy. I have a little bandage on my arm. I'm like, oh, mommy need a nap. But after that nap, I was ready to go. But now it's
yeah,
ever present. We always
right.
see it. And I will say the first maybe 4 or 5 months of me doing peritoneal, my son would sleep at the foot of my bed because he was scared.
Oh,
And
Shonda.
if the machine beeped, he would jump up like it was having my son nervous. And I'm like, mommy's good, baby. I just
Oh,
moved. So, I would tell people, when you switch to home treatment, consider the entire family, because they are a part of this journey now too, because they see it, they see what you deal with and all the troubleshooting. So if your family is overly sensitive and can't handle that, you may need to have a different conversation, because even though you can be in a room, they hear and they see, and now it's weighing heavy on them.
wow. I love that you said that. You know,
Mhm.
you do have to involve the family. You just you don't know what it does to them either mentally, like you were saying. My
Right.
sister, she had did it, and what I loved is she trained her children and her grandchildren, and she showed them
Ah,
what it is and what it did, and they just jumped in. You know what I mean? And that's why I always have you see me having my family and stuff on the show because
mm,
I want somebody that's going to really tell it all and go all the way in. And most of my guests do that. But I know, I can at least push my family or ask them to do that, but you can't push a guest. You can't force a guest. You know what I
right.
mean? But no, I'm just kidding. But I'm glad that you put it all the way out there and consider their feelings too. Because some people just say, look, it's just about me. I'm the one sick. Deal with it. I pay the rent. Deal with it. Not
Right.
you. You said my
Right.
baby wasn't concerned. That touched you that he jumped up,
Yeah.
and that it bothered him and he slept at the edge of your bed. I mean, that touched me. I still feeling that. I don't
Yeah.
drink, but I would want a glass of water or something about now. You know, but,
Right.
but
Right.
yes, but keep teaching all of us, what you said and what you're dealing with. Um, what I want to say that so you're not sorry and it's better now that he's used to it now.
Yes. I'm not sorry because, my son is at that age. Kidney disease is a beast. But raising children in this day and age, and my son is 10 going on 11, so now his hormones a little something. So we're at this age, girls
Uh-huh.
like him. And I had a hiccup where a opposite of a girl like my son, and I'm like, ooh, let's talk about that. Whoa.
Chondo.
So it's a lot going on. So peritoneal gives me the opportunity. So I sit on the board at my son's school. I was like,
I we talked about that.
I don't work a traditional job, but I'm a full-time mama. So I sit on the board at my son's school. So I'm very present, very involved. They know this face. And
Yes.
I felt like my son needs me to know that I'm present. Yes, even though I am battling and thriving an illness, he knows without a shadow of a doubt that mommy's gonna show up for him. I don't care how I'm gonna show up, hair standing up, no hair, whatever, but he knows mommy got my back. And I
Yes.
felt like peritoneal just gives me that opportunity to do that because with now hemo, if that's all the only option, then run it and make it work. But I'm thank God that I had another option because my son is at such a critical age and
Mm.
stage where I feel like he needs me to be more visible and more present. His dad is present as well, but
Oh,
mommy
good.
softens out daddy. Because
Right.
daddy's like, I was a boy and I know, and I'm like, okay, let me
Yes.
balance you out. So PD just gives me the opportunity to take him to school. Like this upcoming week, I'm surprising him to be on his field trip. He don't know that,
Wow. Well, if
you
he's looking
know.
at the show, he knows. But he's probably doing
Oh
something else with
yeah.
young.
Oh, he's on his game right now. He's not paying me any attention.
Great. Oh, now this is going to be a wonderful surprise. Knock his socks off with that. I'm glad you're doing these things, and
Thank you.
and I'm glad that the principal and them see you coming, and you're a family member, and that's there and have his back. Because a lot of kids don't have that. Some parents have two jobs or got to be mother and father, and they really struggling just being a mother. And then if they have an illness, they struggling a couple of other things too. So I'm glad that you're there for him and that he sees that and he knows your sacrifice because he lives with you.
Right. But can I say something about that? Prior to this
Say it.
diagnosis, I
You
worked
know
like a
what? You
beast.
got full reign, girl. Gone.
Ooh, I worked like a beast. I mean, I used to pick my son up from school, bring him back to my job, and we'd be there to 8, 9 o'clock at night. That was our life.
Yes.
And one day my son looked at me and said, "Oh, mommy, I pray you could stay home with me full time." And I was like, "Oh, God hears the prayers of children." And when he said it, I just knew. I was like, "Lord, am I gonna get fired?"
Yeah, because he
Oh,
prayed, right?
right. I was like, "Oh, he put prayer on it." I was like, "Oh," and it was an honest, heartfelt prayer. 30 days after that prayer, I was hurt in a car accident, and I have not worked a traditional job since.
Wow. Yes. Yes. I'm so sorry about that car accident. And I'm so glad that you're still here with us to give
Amen.
us your story, to give us your journey and everything. You know what I mean? Wow, you've done a lot. You've dealt with a lot. And you're still standing, you're still hanging. And I don't know, we have a crazy little stuff going on now, static in the thing. But I think I do. No, that story had to be told and God made it happen, regardless of all the technical difficulties, the ins, the outs, borrowing a phone, added another Wi-Fi. Oh, please. All right. So is there anything that you would say to a child that's mother is battling some kind of illness? It could be this one or anything. What would you say to that child?
I would say to that child that no matter what mommy or even daddy, right? We're going to throw them in the mix too. No matter what your mom and dad are facing, you are always their priority. And don't worry, don't carry this burden. Just be a child, just enjoy your parents, enjoy the innocence of youth, and allow mommy and daddy to carry the weight of the grown up stuff. Just know that you are loved. And we thank God that we have the opportunity to be your mom and your dad. And I'm sure your mom and your dad are so thankful to have you. And you're one of the best wives that they keep fighting, keep thriving, and making sure that they are as healthy as possible to be here for you. But as the child, it's not your job to carry this weight of any adult situations. So just honor your mom and your dad by doing great in school, doing the right thing, and just know that you are loved and you're so important. I can't stress that enough. I think I get to see this journey two ways as the warrior, as an advocate, right? Well, I guess three ways, but also as a mom, I get to see it through my son's eyes. And um, I'm thankful for every opportunity that he feels close enough to open up and to ask questions. I'm thankful that he has a safe enough space where he can say, Mommy, I'm scared. It's a tough pill to swallow when your child looks you in the eyes and he's crying, he or she's crying, and say, Mommy, I'm scared you're going to die. Are you going to die? And, you have to say, well, we all going to die, but it's not my time yet. And, you know, this journey, living it out loud for all the world to see and to bring God glory, but also to see my son see that no matter what the journey, no matter the situation, no matter how tough it is, God is a way maker and he's a keeper, and he just graces his mom to just keep living and thriving. I don't want to be a kidney warrior who feels like this journey has hijacked my life and I don't have any control over it anymore. No, I want my son and the world to see, yeah, I'm battling kidney disease, but I'm kicking the crap out of it, and I'm living loud and I'm living well and I'm living full. And even on those days when I have those hiccups and I'm not feeling as sparkly and effervescent, I still have an opportunity to reset, regroup, refocus, and come back better than ever. And I pray that anybody who ever sees my story, hears my story, sees my journey, will say, you know what? I'm not going to give up. Is it tough? Absolutely. Do I have days and moments where I feel like this thing is bigger than anything I've ever faced? Absolutely. Are there days where this journey feels like it has slapped the breath and life out of me? Yes. But every day that I am blessed to open my eyes and see it, I try to live it on purpose, live it with purpose, and live it authentically, because I never want to be the type of warrior that gets up and be like, oh, it's great, it's wonderful. No, I need you to see that even on those dark days, there's still light at the end of the tunnel. I don't ever want to live a life that is fake and phony. I want people to say, she showed the good, the bad, and the ugly, but one, she glorified God in it. Like, if you don't know, Jesus Christ is my heart and I love him and I want God to be pleased with my life. But two, I love people. And I tell people all the time, when I get thrown lemonades, get thrown lemons, I make spiked lemonade. I'm gonna put a little something extra on it. I don't ever want to be just ordinary. I want people to see that kidney disease warriors, or anybody battling a chronic illness, we are still amazing, we are still phenomenal, we still have so much life, and we just make things happen. And even on those days when we're not so sparkling, we're not feeling so great, we still have an opportunity to be amazing. I tell people all the time, even on those days when I don't feel well, I'm still awesome. I'm just going to rest today. I'm just going to regroup. And there's nothing wrong with that. I want people to see kidney disease warriors and those battling a chronic illness, and don't pity us. Love us. partner with us so we can change the narrative of these stories. And it starts with us. I want us to encourage and equip each other so we can be like, you know what? On your down day, I'm your up. On my down day, you're my up. Let's partner together. Let's do it. Let's make this thing such an infectious outpouring of love and support that another warrior won't ever feel like they're on this journey alone. And I'm so blessed and I'm so fortunate that, you know, I get to share my story with so many other people. Everybody doesn't have this opportunity, and I don't take that for granted. So I'm going to be responsible and a faithful steward over this time and every platform and opportunity I'm given to share my story, because y'all don't have to watch it. You don't have to listen to it. So I just want to make you all proud, if I can say that without sounding arrogant in any way, because I don't mean it that way. I just want people to say, that's Cy Speaks. That's Cyrelle. That's my sister in this journey. And we're doing life together. And when I say life together, I mean, don't count us out. Yes, we're battling a chronic illness, but don't count us out. We are still here. We're still living. We still contribute so much to society. So know that we got this and God has us. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, pumpkin. You doing a phenomenal job. All I could do is listen. I'm like, wow. Well, I was going to ask you to say something to the women or the mommies. That speech alone said it to the family, said it to the mama, the papa, the granny, everybody. I ain't mad at you. And that's what it's all about. You know, it's about us, about family, and we are definitely family.
Right.
We are definitely family. You are excellent. Is there anything, any shout out you want to give to anybody?
Well, one, I want to say, hey to my son Bryce. If you believe in, if y'all believe in prayer, I'm just asking y'all to keep my son lifted in prayer, because we've been through some transitions during this journey. My son had to change schools, a school he really loves. I had to pull him out of it because it was a 45, 50-minute drive each way. And, you know, those on this journey know that could be a little excessive. Twice a day. My doctor was like, nope, that's not wisdom. So he has handled this with such grace that I don't know that a 10-year-old should have, you know.
Wow.
But he's been so amazing, and you know, he asked questions, and my son told his teacher, his fourth grade teacher last year, about my journey, and she went to go get tested. She wasn't a match, but my son was advocating for me.
Wow.
You know,
so, now.
Yeah, so you know, I want to shout out my son. You know, that's my heart, and I thank God for that little boy. And you know, y'all please just keep him lifted up in prayer, because even though I'm Cy Speaks, right? I'm just mommy to him, you know. And my prayer is that I get to be here to see him grow to a good old ripe age. So
yes, yeah. Oh yes,
yes, and
God to it.
Yeah, and to my mom, you know, I didn't realize I'm grown, but I'm still her daughter. And my parents, it's been hard on them, because usually I am effervescent, and when I have those moments, I feel almost bad to say it because I know it hurts them. So to Louise and Alton, she's gonna get me for saying her first name. Louise and Alton, that's my mom and my amazing father. Just them. I want to shout them out because they have been amazing. My rock. They have. And then my aunt and uncle, Uncle Robbie and Aunt Sandra, they're here in Georgia. We're about 45, 50 minutes apart from each other, but I can call on them at any time. So I want them to know I love and appreciate them so much. Wow. So much. And then to my sister friend, Shelly, she's here in Georgia. She's been amazing. I thank God for her. I couldn't have asked for a better friend. I could not. And then my girlfriend, Nadine, she just makes sure my face is just smiling, and it to the point that it hurts. So thank you, Nadine, for loving on me. And last but not least, to my best friend, Lisa. We've been friends since we were 13 and 14 years old. That is my sister, and I love her dearly. And to my road dog, my ride or die, Ashanti, she will travel from California to be here with me. So that has been my core. And I thank God for them. Those are the people that have seen it all. And thank you. And can I just do one last one, right? I want to take that. I joined a church within the last year, and we've had our ups and downs, but I can say that God has revealed his grace and mercy. And I want to say, I thank God for my pastor, K. Francis Smith. Most people see your pastors, almost as untouchable, but
Wow.
he has shown so much love and compassion for me in the last couple of months that has blown me away. And I just pray that he knows. So I want you, Pastor, to know, thank you, Pastor K. Francis Smith, for just being the man that you are. I love you and I respect you. And I thank God for you being in my life. So that's it.
Excellent. That's it. All
That's
right
it.
now. All right. I'm sure they all appreciate that. You're
Yeah.
the kind of person that, people will just love, appreciate, and be there for. And even the ones that give us that hard time, we still want to be there for them too. So, man, this has been a wonderful show in spite of everything. You see that testimony had to get out there, and we had all those little glitches, but it still got done. So we telling you to press on no matter what, because it can still get done. I thank you, baby, so much for being on the show. Thank you for when you had me on your show in the past. I just appreciate you as a woman, as a person, as a warrior, as just a dynamic woman that's doing great things, and God has great things for you. So there's more stuff in you. Trust me, there's more stuff that's coming out. So you go ahead, whether it's a book or another show or something national, but there's something coming out, because even your story and your son's story will even be told together at some point. So you just keep doing what you got to do, and keep being that amazing mother. And we'll definitely be in touch. I appreciate you 100%.
Thank you. I love you, Lisa. Thank you so much.
Love you too, princess.
Bye.
Bye. Woo! Was that a ride or was that a ride? Wasn't that beautiful, touching, heartwarming, and loving? Yes, it was. And I know you must admit it, but I do thank you for tuning in and sticking and staying with us regardless. We appreciate you. We pray for you. We love on you tonight. She was a great warrior and still is. And y'all continue to be great warriors and caregivers out there. Good night. God bless. It's been real. Bye from Pennsylvania. See you in New York soon. Peace.
Y'all ready for this? Yeah.
This is the Lisa Baxter Show, giving you the 411 and the kid me one. My girl.